So why are homes selling for $100,000, $200,000, sometimes $300,000 or more on top of the list price that they're advertised at? This is a question I get from a lot of my clients and a lot of people who are just asking me in general as to what's going on in the market right now. I'll break this down and give you some tips on how to win and buy a house in a seller's market like the one we're in right now. So currently in the GTA and a lot of parts of Ontario, as well as other parts in Canada as well, we are facing a situation where we have low inventory compared to the demand. So really low months of inventory is a good way to look at this. And if we look at these popular areas, we can see that months of inventory is less than 1 for a lot of them, meaning that if we were to stop all new listings from coming out, we would sell off everything that we have within less than a month. In these circumstances, what we're seeing with a lot of homes is something called an offer night strategy. So this is a different type of listing strategy than the most common one, which is where you list the price right at the market value of the home, maybe a little bit above, and then negotiate from there. This is a completely different strategy where you're actually listing the property below market value, trying to attract a lot of attention to it, which there already is a lot of attention to it, but then setting a specific date, usually about a week or two later, where you're going to review all the offers on that one date. So what does that mean if you're a home buyer right now and you're looking to buy a home? Well, first thing is homes are going to be selling a lot quicker. So these offer nights are scheduled somewhere between a week or 2 weeks after the date that they're listed. So not a whole lot of time, whereas in a balanced market, you may see something like a month to 3 months where homes are sitting on the market. Not the case right now. The second thing is prices are trending upwards. So they are rising, and prices in Ontario and in a lot of parts when it comes to real estate, they're based on a comparative analysis of what's selling in the area, similar homes, comparing them and coming to an idea of market value based on that. So when you sell a home for a high price, all of a sudden that has an impact on the next home and the next home after that, because those become the new reference points for the future homes that are to come out to market. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is prices are continuing to go up. The last thing, and I think the most important, because this gives a lot of buyers a lot of trouble right now, the list price for most homes, if they're move-in ready, if they have significant issues or they need a lot of work, the demand pool will be much lower. But for a typical house that you could move in or is close to move-in ready, most of them will be using this offer night strategy, meaning the list price that you see online is going to be below market value and very likely below what the home is going to sell for. And that range can be sometimes small or really large, depending on the listing and depending on the property. So relying on list prices and using those as a measure of value for homes is not going to work very well in this market, because a lot of them are below what they're actually worth. Another thing as well to keep in mind in this market is a lot of the offers that are coming in, especially in these multiple offer situations, they are going to come in firm, meaning no conditions. So it'll be difficult to get in that financing condition or inspection condition or even any other conditions that you may be able to get in earlier. They will be a lot more difficult to get in and may put you at a disadvantage. So what should you do? How can you win in this situation? What are the best things to do if you're looking to buy a home? Well, first thing is you got to be quicker than you would be beforehand. So I always let my clients know, and anybody who's looking to buy a home right now, is get out there as soon as you possibly can, because that's going to give you every advantage to see the home, to do maybe a pre-inspection before putting an offer on a home, and also to evaluate the property itself. You get the most time, and there's not a lot of time in this market. The next thing is to be prepared with things like financing. Make sure that you have that taken care of early on, because that's just going to weigh you down, and it's something where if you do need a couple of days or you need a finance condition, you're most of the time going to be out of luck, and you may have to give up on a house that you fall in love with. So what you should do is get all of that taken care of in advance. And if you do want to do an inspection, there are things that you can do, like having the inspection done before the offer date, so that when you're going to offer it on that offer night, you have all that information already completed, because getting an inspection condition will also be very difficult in this market. Now, going back to listing prices, when you're searching online, a lot of those prices are not going to be accurate as to what the house is going to sell for. So this is the time to work with your real estate agent to help you to analyze the value of that home based on comparative sales before you even go out to see them, or even afterwards, just so that you know if you're still looking in your budget, rather than just looking at homes based on the list price, which is not going to give you a whole lot of information. There are some websites and tools that can help you with this, but using an expert like an agent will help you a lot to navigate and help read those numbers and come to a final conclusion on price. Another thing that can help you beat out the competition when there's multiple offers is to look at the things other than price. So price comes first, but then other than that, there are some other really important factors like the closing date, that if you can be more flexible than somebody else, that may be a huge advantage in your favor. You can always up your deposit, showing much more financial security to the sellers if you put in a larger deposit than a smaller one. And of course, meeting them if there's any specific conditions or terms that they're looking for. So having that flexibility can also give you a big advantage. The last thing that I want to mention, and one of the most effective tools that you have in this market, is persistence. So make sure that you don't give up on the first one or the second or the third, because you may find that house the first time around. It may take a couple of tries, and that's completely normal right now. And every situation has its unique variables when it comes to negotiation, when it comes to the house itself, and when it comes to the sellers and the other agents that are involved in the process. So make sure that you're getting out there, you keep going, because you will find what you're looking for. So make sure to use these tips, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, or feel free to reach out to me. And if you see a specific property that you're curious about what it's going to sell for compared to what it's listed at, what it'll go for on an offer night, just send me an email with the details and I'll get back to you within 24 hours. Wish you all the best on your home search. We'll see you soon.